Welcome back to Learning Partners. So in this video, we are going to see a machine test. Okay, so when we are applying for any normal scale companies, first one or two round might be technical test or any technical interviews. Then after that, everyone will ask for the practical test, right? So everyone will give some scenarios and ask us to do basic CRUD operation or implement any particular UI. Okay, so it can be scenario, can be anything. So just like that, we have one scenario. So the fields are given like first name, last name, email, and some things are there like countries, city, and state should be required, and the static drop down. Okay, then they have said like you need to use reactive form with validation, and they have specified like use reactive form and validation should also fire on the submit. Okay, and don't use alerts. Then this is the object they need, like it's a nested object, right? So you can see these are the parent field, and in address we have another nested object. Then in phase 2, what they have told us to do, like in dashboard listing, we have to show the list of all the users, and based on the status, if pending is there, we have to show the yellow, green, and red. Likewise, if there is no data in the table, we have to show no data form. Then we have to implement the edit and the delete functionality. On create button, record should be created, and on the delete, it should ask for the confirmation before deleting the record. And phase 3 is like put a confirm password input with compare validation, and show alert while adding and edit and successfully. Okay, so let's just start. So I have created an empty project, and this project I will be following for all the machine tests I will be covering. Okay, now I have created two component. First is the new user component. Here I will have that user form where we'll be creating that user and editing also. And in user list, I will be showing the list of the all users. Okay, and user layout is the parent component to hold the navbar. Okay, so here you can see we have the navbar. So here, if we go to the user list, you can see user list component load and new user. Now let's get started. In the new user component, first we have to create the form. So for that, in app module, we need to add reactive form module. So let me check that if it is there. No. For that, reactive forms module needs to be added in the import section of app module. Okay. Then we have to create the form. So user form colon form group. Okay, so we need the import for that. Then we can create a method that will be create form, and inside that we will create the form like this dot user form is equal to new form group, and I will call this in the constructor. Still it is saying like it is not initialized, so let me just initialize it in here. Okay, so to resolve this issue, we can just initialize it with empty form. So this dot user form is equal to new form group opening closing. Okay, then okay, now this method we will call after the initialization like this dot create form, and here we need to add the control. So if you see here in the machine test part, they have specified the fields. So that is first name colon new form control. This needs to be added in the import statement. Okay, so after that we need to initialize with empty. Then we need to add the validation. So let's see like this is required or not. Yeah, everything should be required. So let's just add some basic validation. Okay, so we have to add validators. For this also we need the import validators dot required So this is one field, one control. Like that, we just need to add another. So let me just copy paste. So these are the basic field we have. But if we see the object, address is another form group. Okay, means nested form. So for that, address colon new form group. So this is nothing but another form group inside another form. Okay. So in that we have country, state, and city. So it will be country colon again the same thing. Let me just copy paste. State, and this will be city. Okay. So this is how nested form will be. We have started user from there. These are the parent controls we have. Then address. Inside this address again we have the another form group. So now we need to bind this to the HTML template. So let's just create dot row dot call free. Let me just design the form. Okay, so this is the form I have created. Now next thing is just a simple form. You can see row, column, just a normal form is there. Just for the country, state, and the city, we have the drop down. Okay. Now we are not going to do that dependent thing. It's just a static drop down as it was mentioned in the document. Okay. Next thing is we need to bind our form, reactive form, to our this template form. Okay. So for that we need a form tag. Okay. Now this should end at the end. And we instead of this action, we have to use form group is equal to our form group name, that is user form. This will go over here. Okay, so first thing is done. Form group name. Okay, instead of form group name, we just can provide form group. Okay, in property binding, let me just format it back. Okay, so what we have done, we have just added the form group name to our form. Then to all the input elements, we just need to bind form controller name is equal to double quotes. Whatever the control name we have provided, that we just need to bind. So first name will go over here like that. All the binding we need to do. This will be last name. Second control, that is last name, will go over here. Okay. After that, this row, which is inner object. So that is country, state, and the city. So we have to bind here form group name is equal to form group name is address. So this will go over here. Okay. Now let me just bind the remaining things. Okay. So I have binded all the control names. So form control name, first name, last name, email, phone, status, DOB, password, and then we had that inner form. So we have just added that using form group name and the same control name. Form control name is equal to country, state, and the city. Okay. So let's save and check if we don't have any error or something. Yeah. So we don't have any error. After that, we need to do the validation. So for validation, we just need a separate div beside this with class text ranger. So we will have the red color. Okay. Then this is our form. So we need to use ng if user form dot controls square bracket, then first name dot touch. Okay. So touch means unless user touch the element, we don't have to show the validation, right? Otherwise, when the form load, validation will be visible. Then here in span, we can show the validation. So this span will be visible if we have errors. Errors. dot required. Okay, so it is saying error like it should be in the square bracket form. So let's just wrap it that. Okay, so this is the basic thing. Let's see if it is working properly or not. Okay, so by default, no validation is coming. But if I touch this and click away, okay, still it is not visible. Let me just inspect. Yeah, this touch property is true, but this, okay, we haven't displayed any text. That's why it is not visible. Let's say this is message can be anything. Okay, so let's test it now. So initially we don't have that message, but if I click and move away, so you can see validation is present over there. But if I type something, so validation is going away. So like this, I need to do for every control. Okay, just control name will be different, like last name. Here it will be last name. Let me just copy paste the whole thing. Okay, so I have done for every field. Just the difference will be with the inner form. So here, instead of directly what we used to do, user form dot control and our control name. But here we have to get the particular control, that is user form dot get from address dot country. So if we see the object address dot country, address dot state, address dot city. So like that, we have to get the control using get method. So user form dot get from address, we have to get the country. Like this, I have done for the remaining three fields. Let's check it now. If I click, yeah, it is visible. Okay, so all the validations are visible now. Now, as mentioned over here, they need to show the validation on the click of the button. Validation should also fire on the submit button. So once we click on the create, okay, instead of create, we will just name it of the submit. On click of it, we should get the validation triggered. Okay, so for that, we just need to create one event that will be click on save. Let's create this function over here. We just need to mark the form as touch. So this dot user form dot mark as touch. Okay, so with this, our form will be marked touch. Now let's see. Let me save on. Okay, so on the validation, on the page load, we don't have any validation, right? So if I say on the first name we have, and if I click on the create user, you can see all the validations are visible now. Okay, so our second part is done. We have implemented the reactive form. On the submit button, we have fired the validation also. Now we need to store the data into the local storage in the JSON format like below. So we have already created that object. So here, after this, we can simply add a check again, like form is valid or not. So this dot user form dot is valid. So this will be not. Okay. Then we need to store the whatever the data we have into the local storage, but it should be in an array. So for that, I'm creating one array empty. Let me just make it let. Okay, and then we just need to push our form into this array. Push this dot user form dot value, which will give us the form value dot value, and then we need to store it. So local storage dot set item, our key value pair data. So key will be user list. And while storing the data into the local storage, we just need to convert it to the JSON string format. So JSON dot stringify, and we need to pass the array, that is ARR. That's it. So let's check now. Let me say Sachin. Let me just test like that form valid is on working or not. password something, country, Punjab, city. Let me just add the debugger. So our component is create user component.ts new user. So here we will check on click of save. So you can see it is true. So we just have to make it, we just have to remove this not. Okay. So with this it will work. Now search in Tendulkar mail search in @gmail.com. Then phone number, status, pending. It should be drop down, so we will make it in some time. Password 12345. India, Maharashtra, Mumbai. Okay. Now if we click on the create user, so you can see invalid is getting true. Then array, we have pushed the array. So you can see, then we are storing the data. Currently, if we say, let me just clear this. Okay, so once we run this line, we will get to see local storage the data. So here you can see the data we have stored. Okay, one click. So what ideally should happen once we save, this form should be cleared. Okay, now for that we just have to do this dot user form dot reset. Okay, and now we had the other button that is reset. So we can just call one more event, click reset form, and in this function as well we just need to call that line, this dot user form dot reset. So let's check it now. Okay, so let's say we type something and click on reset. So you can see form is getting resetted. Okay, next. Something is not missing. Okay, correct. So this was our form with the inner form that is address, which is having 3 controls. Then save method, we have stored the data into the local storage. Now while storing, we just need to, because we are going to store multiple times. So if we have some data into the local storage, so first we need to read that and then push it onto that. So for that, let's say constant local data is equal to local storage dot get item. First we need to read the data from local storage. That will be from user list key. Okay, and here we need to check if local data is not equal to null, means if in local storage we have some data, so we just need to convert that data into just parse, because while storing we are going to store in the string format. So parse data json dot parse, and we need to pass our variable, that is local data, whatever the value we get. Okay, then we just need to use this line over here, and instead of array we will be storing this into the parse data, and we need to store this. Okay, if local data is null, so it will go to the else block, means this is the first time we are pushing into the local storage, so then this line will be needed over there. Copy and paste. Now instead of parse array, it will be this array. Okay, and then after that we will be resetting the form. So let's check this also. So in local storage currently we just have one user, so let's add Rahul pending, date of birth, let's say something, password. Okay, on click of create user, Continue. Let's see the, you can see now two records are there. First one was Sachin and second was the Rahul. Now, next thing is on the user list, we need to read the local storage data and show it into the table. So for that, let's go to the user list. Let's create a variable that is grade list. Any, it is going to be array initialization. Now, the same thing to read the data, we just need this line. In constructor, we can read the data. Okay, so first what we have done, we have read the data from the local storage. If it is not null, we have passed that and we just need to store that into this variable. So instead of cost, it will be this. Okay, now we just need to use the table. So for table, I will just use row called 12, and inside that I will use the table tr head tr ph serial number and name, phone, email, status, country and city we can show. In just address separated by, we can show something in one column only. Okay, then we need t body, then it will be tr. So on tr we need to use the for loop, so that will be ng for, and for loop we have to iterate on this grid list. So this will go over here. Now at the top we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 rows are there, so we just need 6 td. First we need to show the index. Sr is equal to index we can store, and sr plus 1 will go over here. Then we need td interpolation, then item dot. So this, let me just copy paste this. Okay, so while storing the data, we have some keys, so that we just need first name, item dot last name, then item dot phone, so that will be phone. So this will go over here, then email, it will go over here, then status, this will be status, and the last one, country, state and address, so that will come from address dot country. Then we will just separate it out with the hyphen, state and city. Okay, let me just add some class variable border. Let's save and check if we get the data or not. Yeah, so we can see we have got the data, just city is not coming. So let's check why city is not coming. In the application address, yeah, city is going empty. Let's just check why city is going empty. This was city. Let's check the new form. Okay, so here it n was there, that's why city was not going. So let's just create one more form. Okay, email, phone number, status completed. Let's select country. Okay, on click of create, now we should get the city also. Let's go back and we have to reload. Okay, this time it didn't save. Let's check why. Let me just go back. Completed. Date of birth, password, country. Let's click on create. Why it is not going? Let's debug. The user form is coming invalid. Why it is coming invalid? Everything we have provided. Let's check the last one. Address.city is correct. This is also same required. Nothing else validation we have added yet. State, everything is correct. Let's just debug the code. Let me just add something just to save the time. Create user. It is coming false. So let's check one by one, like which control is coming false. Control, address, status valid, DOB valid, email is also valid, first name is also valid, last name is also valid, password is also valid, phone number is also valid, but status is also valid. But why form value is coming? Okay, now if I remove this and try to create, now it is coming. Yeah, that's why. So we need not over there. So this should be not. Let's check now. If whole the form is valid now, so it will gives not. Let's check now. Completed. Date of birth, password. Create. Okay, now if we go, yes, we can see 4 records have been created. Okay, now next thing was like if the status is pending, we need to show some color, right? So for that we can use ngClass over here. ngClass if item. Now it is multiple conditions, so we can use bg primary. This class will get added if item dot status is equal to, let's say, pending. Then second class bg success. This class will be added if item dot status is equal to completed. Let's save and check now. Okay, completed. Let's check why it is not. BGSUCCS. Yeah. Okay. So likewise, we can add one more condition for that. If rejected. So let's just add one more for the rejected. Same thing. We just need to add one more class. Ranger if status is rejected. Okay, so our first thing is done. Now let's move ahead with the step 2. Okay, so next step is we have to implement edit and the delete functionality. Okay, and on click of create, it should redirect to that other page. And on the delete, it should ask for the confirmation before deleting. Okay, so let's implement that. So I have added edit and the delete button. Okay, let me just change the color of secondary. So we have got edit and the delete button. So now we have to call the function. So on click event, so I have already created the events, that is on edit, opening, closing, and then on delete. Okay, so now the thing is like we are storing the data into the local storage. So when we click on the edit and we have a second page to show the form. So for that we need to send some value. So for now I'm going to send the mobile number as a parameter. Okay, so for that item dot phone I will be sending, because we don't have any primary key or unique thing, and here I will be sending item phone only. Now we just need to add the parameter over here also, considering phone number is unique. Okay, phone string, and same thing over here. Now on click of delete, we need to redirect to the, we have one route that is new user. So now we are redirecting with the parameter. So for that we need to change it little bit, new user, or instead of like, let's make it edit user :id. Okay, slash :id. Okay, now this is the path that is using the same component, but it has the parameter. Okay, so now here we need to create the service of router, private router : router. Okay, now here we need to navigate this dot router dot navigate. Okay, so here we have to, inside the navigate, we need just to pass the array, and inside that first parameter will be our route. So our route name will be edit user. This will go over here, and then our data. So data will be in the object format, that is id : phone number. Okay, or instead of id, let's change it back to phone. Same thing will be over here also. Okay, so just let's check. Okay, so let's try to redirect now. Okay, so on click of edit, it should redirect to that another route. Okay, okay, so but we have got the error. The route is like this. Okay, let's make some changes. Instead of this object, we will just simply pass the parameter as a second. Okay, now let's check. On click of edit, yeah, so see, we are redirecting to the edit user. Now we need to read the parameter from this. So for that, in new user component, again we have to create the service object of router. So private we have to create the service of activated route. Activated route. Okay, now in constructor we need to subscribe. So this dot activated route dot params dot subscribe. Now let's check by adding the debugger, like what we get here. On click of save, so we should get the debugger. Yeah, and if we check the result, see, we are getting the parameter, so we can access by result.phone. Okay, so now we just have to create one variable that will be edit phone number. Let's make it string, and we just need to provide this value in the constructor. This dot edit phone list is equal to res dot phone. Let's initialize it with empty. Put it in a square bracket. Okay, so when we are editing, we get the particular phone number over here. Now we just need to read that value. We just need a particular record from the array. So for that, again, we have to do the same thing. First, we have to read the data from the local storage, and then we need to find the particular record. And everything we are doing in the subscribe only. Okay. Now, and here we need to add a check if res dot phone number is not equal to empty, just to make sure it won't break. Not equal to null. We will compare this. Now here it will be, instead of constant, users. Okay, now we need to find the particular record matching that phone number. So we have to, this is our, let's first take the constant data current data is equal to users. This we are in users, we are going to get the array, so we have to use find expression m dot phone is equal to this dot, what is the edit phone number. Okay, so here we will get the data. It needs the any, so any. Okay, now if we have got the data in this particular record, we just need to initialize the form with the data. So this thing, we can put it inside this, and again we can add a check like if we have got the data, so return not equal to undefined, then only we need to initialize the form with the data. Then instead of this empty, we just need to provide the value, this dot first name, like this. I will just do for the remaining. Okay, so like this I have done the binding. So instead of empty, we have just provided whatever the data we have got in this current data. Okay, now let's check. So if you can see here, we are just debugging the code. So in edit phone number, we have got the data. In users, we have got the complete array. From that, we just need to find the particular matching record with this phone number. So in current data, we can see we have got the Rahul Dravid record. And now here, see, we are initializing the form, but with the value. So if I say continue, you can see we have rendered the form with the value. Okay, now this is the same thing, like update will be there. Okay, let's go back. So edit is done. Now second thing is like on click of delete, we just need to show a pop-up for the confirmation, and after that we have to delete. So let's write the code for that. So here we just need to show the pop-up. So we can use the basic JavaScript code, that is delete is equal to confirm, like the alert we have, confirm, and message we have to provide sure want to delete, and here it will be const is okay. And if user has said yes, so we will get true in this is delete variable, and if it is true, we have to remove the data. Now in grid list we have all the data, right? So first we need to find the index of that particular record from the array. So const index is equal to this dot grid list dot find index. Then again lambda expression on is equal to this, no sorry, the parameter directly on. Okay, then we need to use this dot release dot splice. Splice method allows us to remove the particular element from that index. So index will be this, and how many record we have to remove? So one only. So that's it. So let's check it now. On click of edit, we have got the pop-up. Okay, and if we click OK, so that particular record is getting deleted. Now let's try to remove the Rohit Sharma. If I say cancel, it won't do anything. But if I say OK, it is getting deleted. So that's it. The basic things we have done. Remaining things, these are the small grammatical and UI things you can do. Okay. So this is how we should complete any machine test. Okay. Hope you have liked the video. Please do like and comments and share. Thank you.